So Sony just released a new phone, the Xperia 1 Mark II. On the surface it might look like just another phone with multiple cameras, but it's actually a big deal for photographers and pushes mobile photography forward in ways both Apple and Google have failed to do. So in this video I'm going to show you 5 reasons why I'm excited. I'm Supreet, and on this channel we cover phones and photography from an app developer's perspective. So if you're into taking photos or videos with your phone, consider subscribing. Now let's dive into the first reason, the included apps. The phone comes with a Cinema Pro and Photo Pro apps. These apps mimic real camera controls like shutter speed, ISO, and exposure. What's cool is these are actually based on real Sony video and photo cameras. And these apps are preloaded and they're first-class apps, meaning you don't have to go to the App Store to download something to really get full control of your phone. For example, on the iPhones, you have to go to the App Store and get third-party apps to get any sort of manual controls because the basic iPhone camera app just doesn't have much there. The second reason is autofocus. This is one of the first phones to have a real autofocus system. Other phones up until now have just been tap to focus. With autofocus, we have multiple tracking modes where you can actually set your focus point and then actually track it as it moves through the frame, which is great for any sort of action or wildlife. In addition to that, you can actually do bursts, which is amazing, up to 20 frames per second. So it'll actually keep whatever you're taking photos of, the subject in focus while you're doing a burst, which is just not possible today on phones. So this is really breaking new territory for phone camera technology. The third reason is the shutter button. So this phone has a dedicated button to trigger the camera. And what's cool is this is not a repurposed volume button. So for example, on the iPhone 11, when you hit the volume button, it's actually opposite the power button. So you can imagine how annoying it is to take a photo and then accidentally turn your phone off. But here the shutter button's placed in a natural position at the top right, which is where you would find that on most cameras. Another interesting fact is that the shutter button is actually a 2-stage button. So when you press initially, it'll handle autofocus, and then when you press all the way, it'll actually take the shot, which is exactly how cameras work. And that's useful because when you press halfway and you engage the autofocus, you can actually move the phone around to kind of get the perfect composition, frame the shot perfectly. And then when you press down when you're ready to actually take the shot. So it's actually really nice and gives you a lot of control that you wouldn't have otherwise. The fourth reason are the lenses. So similar to other phones, it has multiple lenses. It has 3. There's a 16mm, 24mm, and a 70mm, which are kind of the wide, regular, and zoom lenses. What's different here is that these are actually based on real camera lenses. So the 16, 24, and 70 are very popular lenses for cameras. They've been used for many years. And in contrast, when you look at like the iPhone 11, the ultra wide is actually a 13mm, which is really a very specialized focal length. It's very wide, and 16 really gives you a much more kind of everyday ultra wide field of view, which is really nice. The fifth reason, which is honestly the biggest reason, is that this is really a gateway camera. So it kind of brings people into all the controls of photography and really gives you a preview of what you can expect if you upgrade to a dedicated Sony camera. And it teaches you the modes and options that you could have and gives you kind of a path to upgrade, which is really unique because when you look at Apple and Google, they'd really dumb down their camera apps. They're very simple, but the enthusiasts out there that you want to learn more about photography or videography, go deeper, they want more control. And Apple and Google really haven't done much there, versus here, Sony's really coming out and giving manual controls that really mimic their professional offerings. So what does all this mean? Should everyone trade in their iPhones, Pixels, and Galaxies for this? Not exactly. There's a lot more to a phone than just its camera capabilities. This really should be recognized as a step forward in mobile photography, really bridging the gap between phone and cameras even further. Sony is the largest manufacturer of cameras today, and they're really the perfect company to be doing this. They've really grown their market share by giving customers what they want, and this is no different. They're really giving customers the control that they would want, from actual cameras. And so, regardless of how well the Xperia 1 Mark II does in the marketplace, right? Google and Samsung and Apple have pretty strong dominance there. It's really nice to see them bringing, camera phone technology forwards. So thanks for watching. Subscribe for more phone photography content, and we'll see you next time. Bye.